What is up, Detroit Sports Nation? Beyond the Box back with you, AJ Reilly, Eric Vincent, ready for another episode of Beyond the Box. We're excited because we had a big weekend. We had a exciting Thanksgiving game. We had an even more exciting Saturday, if you can believe that. And I'm just telling you right off the rip, man, like, you ain't bringing me down tonight. There ain't nothing you can do. There ain't nothing you can say. I am here for Michigan football, and I'm ready for whatever comes next, which is going to most likely be someone like a TCU. Maybe USC sneaks in there. I doubt we get an Ohio State-Michigan rematch in the semifinal, but it does not matter because we're going to talk Michigan football, and we're going to talk about the utter domination that took place in the Horseshoe, the stealing of the Big Ten Conference from Ohio State, and the breaking of the Ohio State program, potentially.
Wow.
I mean, they are calling for Ryan Day's head in Columbus, and it is a beautiful thing. But before we start there, I just want to remind everybody, okay? We're here to talk. We're here to chat. We're here to talk pigskin, football, whatever you want to talk about tonight, we are here for it. We got Lions Thanksgiving. We got Michigan football. We got that start bench cut segment that everybody loved, and it is going to be fun. And I got one for Eric. But, Eric, let's talk about Michigan football. Toss your comments and stuff into the chat. We would love to chat and talk with you. But, Eric, what is going on with that team? They were a team possessed on Saturday.
Before I give into my analysis, I really want to see one thing. I want to see you stand up, and I want to know what kind of – it's an appropriate question. What kind of pants are you wearing right now?
Oh, I'm in sweatpants. I'm not standing up because I'll be out of frame.
No khakis?
Nope, not tonight.
Wow. See, I don't even want to start. You said you go all out. I expect you to be dressed like Coach King Solomon, and you're not even doing that right now.
Nah, man. Listen, I work from home. What are khakis?
That's fair. That's fair. For you,
I put sweatpants on. That's what I do.
I feel like those are your sweatpants as the swagless one of the group, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's talk about your team.
I wear joggers.
Okay, all right, fair enough. You know me. You know I've been wanting to hate all season. I've been wanting to be.
You have been wanting to hate all season long.
I've tried so hard. I'm watching this first half, and I'm thinking, this is going to be a rough one. They're coming out slow out the box. The defense is looking regular. They're driving methodically. The off, it looks like it's going to have to be a JJ or bust type game. I had zero hope watching the first half of this game. And then the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing just flipped completely come the second half.
But was it really? Because Ohio State had – listen. Ohio State had that easy drive to start the game. I'm with you. And I was like – I was nervous. I told my wife, I was like, that was the most emotional roller coaster I've ever been on.
Facts.
Because it felt like every play of that game was like the key play of that game.
Right, it was.
I can't remember the last time I sat and watched a game where I was like, it's the first quarter of our first drive. We're at third down, and I feel like the game is hanging in the balance right now.
Yeah.
I was so emotionally spent after that game from the, like, roll. I felt like I was at Cedar Point where they're like, make sure you lock in and keep your arms inside the ride for America's, roller coaster, because it was exhausting. It was exhausting. But the Jekyll and Hyde thing, like, what drive of Ohio State's after that first drive was easy?
Not much. The defense picked up. Head. But to be fair, Michigan, now I said this on the news desk as well, because while Michigan was making timely plays, they came on broken plays as well. The first touchdown to Cornelius Johnson should have been wrapped up for maybe a first down tackle, but he scampers out. And a couple other plays. Again, I don't think JJ made a lot of good throws, but he made a lot of good reads based on what OSU presented to him. So I'm not mad at him for making the plays that he made. But to say, yeah, absolutely, I was shocked at the second half because, again, you didn't just win. You didn't scamper out on a field goal. You took their soul.
Yes, we
and
did.
Read about their old building.
Well, if Ohio State has souls to begin with, let's start there.
Okay, all right.
Let's start there. I mean,
Ohio
pretty sure they're. I mean, if they're Ohio State fans, I apologize, but actually, no, I don't.
No, you feel how you feel. It's okay.
I do feel how I feel, and at the end of the day, like this is what it is. This is the game. This is the show. Like this is it, and we dominated that game.
You did. You
Dominated.
feel great. You feel great.
I feel so good, and I feel even better. And we've got a guest with us tonight, Eric.
Yes,
and it's Tejas Bedi, and he is a writer for DSN, who is a Purdue graduate. And so, Tejas, I know you watched the Michigan game on Saturday.
Unfortunately, yes, I did.
Okay. How are you feeling as a Purdue graduate?
Right now,
for the game this Saturday, as 16-point underdogs.
Everything else about Purdue, pretty great. You know, finally won the West. Basketball's looking good. The game.
No. Wait, you can't bring up basketball. Hold on a second. You can feel great about basketball. That's fantastic. We're talking about football. There's a football game this Saturday.
The game on Saturday, there's no reason that Purdue should win that game.
Okay,
but
good. At least you're like logical.
Look,
yes, I appreciate that.
That's when Purdue shines. Look, Purdue is so great at knocking off, top two teams. They have, as an unranked team, they have the most wins with 9 over top 2 teams.
Calvin Johnson 88's got a comment for you. Boo Purdue.
Hey, look, we're here. We're gonna sling the ball around. It's indoors. Purdue's won crazier games.
They have. Well, crazier. They did upset Ohio State. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I'm with you. Like, what was it, last year, 2 years ago? They upset Ohio State. I'm with you.
Yeah, I was a little bit longer. That was like 3 years, and then
was it 3 years ago?
Yeah.
But do you legitimately think that you have a chance this weekend?
We have a chance. Yes. Like I would say, look, Eric, you think there's a 0% chance Purdue wins?
I'll get whatever. Here, listen, man. Whatever percent that you got right against Michigan, I'm with you. I told you, I've been waiting to be that hater against Michigan for the longest. I haven't been able to do it. So if I can ride with you on the bandwagon, I'm coming along. I promise.
Look, it's not. Look, Aiden O'Connell, when he is playing well, he can sling the ball around. I'm not saying that they should be favored or that they're gonna win, but there's a chance, man. They got some talent on offense. They got some big players. We've had the most wins against Ohio State in the 2000s. I know you guys are riding high off your 2 wins, but
hey, listen. You can have the most wins against Ohio State in the 2000s, but we are not Ohio State at this point.
Yeah, you're finally better.
This Ohio State team was one of the most talented Ohio State teams that they've had, and we dominated them. Flat out. Like we stole the Heisman Trophy from C.J. Stroud. Flat out. He doesn't even have a chance at the Heisman Trophy at this point.
100%. I think Michigan's going to win this game by 17.
Okay.
17,
so you're saying 14, there's about a 1% chance Purdue could win?
I would say 5%. Because either Purdue's playing really well.
That's 5 times
and
too
they're
high.
going to come out there. Look, either they're coming out playing really well and they're going to – and look, when O'Connell's – like they beat the same Tennessee team. They beat him in the Music City Bowl without their 2 best players last year, David Bell and George Karlaftis. They have the ability to hang with some teams. The issue with Purdue is they play up and down to their competition. So I think they'll be in this game for, they should have beat Penn State. They should have beat Syracuse, 2 good teams. I think I'm going to say Michigan by 10. That's my prediction. I've come down.
You just talked yourself into a touchdown.
I've talked myself into it, baby.
Yes, that's right. Stand up for it. Don't be scared.
Hey, look, I respect the game, man. Like I do respect the game.
Look, it's indoors, so I'm feeling good. We like to throw the ball around.
And you won't have to worry about Blake Corum because there's 0% chance he plays this Saturday. Which not that that doesn't benefit you because you got to deal with Donovan Edwards. But I mean, there could be a chance he's not playing this Saturday just to rest his hand and just roll out there with the young running backs and let JJ carry it to a victory.
Yeah, I will say I do feel better playing Michigan versus Ohio State. Purdue actually has done well against some of the better rushing attacks. Like they shut down Chase Brown, beating Illinois on the road. They did a really good job when they beat Minnesota. Their defense actually has been surprisingly good against the run. So I think Michigan's offensive line is a different animal. But I think they can hold their own there. The things that really scare me are
JJ McCarthy, and JJ McCarthy.
No.
JJ McCarthy
don't do that.
as a
Don't let him
runner
do that.
scares me. Purdue has struggled a little bit against scrambling quarterbacks. I forget Syracuse's quarterback's name. That can cause Purdue some issues. But their second corner has been a weakness. So I'm worried. But we'll see if they're in, maybe JJ won't have him as wide open as he did against Ohio State.
I mean, they were pretty wide open.
Yeah.
Quite often.
They're good in coverage. This number 2 corner, Reese Taylor, he's good in coverage, but he kind of has that Nevin Lawson where he'll be there. He won't make a play on the ball. He'll interfere. He'll mess up there, which has really affected our defense. So I think that could be an issue. He'll probably be going against Cornelius Johnson, and then our number 1 will probably go with Ronnie Bell, I'm guessing.
But what's interesting to me, though, and I guess, I'm sure you've watched a lot more Purdue than I have because I have watched Purdue 0 times this year. It's not your defense that I would be necessarily concerned about. Can your offense move the ball on Michigan's offense or on Michigan's defense?
So I've only watched 1 game of Michigan. So I guess Michigan's deep. Does it really have any weakness, or is it pretty solid all the way around?
It's pretty solid.
Solid, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're DB. Yeah.
We just did what we did to Ohio State without our best defensive player, Mike Morris.
100%. So yeah, Purdue's offense. I can just give you a quick. It's pretty top heavy. So our quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, AOC is probably what I'll call him the rest of the show. He's pretty good. He's
like the Congresswoman.
Yep. Look, I
didn't know we were getting political.
Let's take that. Okay, we branching out. We branching out.
I'm not saying O'Connell 20 times this episode. It's just too long a name. I'm sorry. He's gonna take some risks. He's not afraid to push the ball deep. He'll try and make some tight win. He's gonna throw 1 or 2 interceptable passes a game. He's had some luck where it gets dropped or
forces the ball, makes a bad read.
Yeah, but he's aggressive, which I think Purdue needs in this game. They're going to sling it down. Charlie Jones is their best offensive player. He's good returner, but
who was y'all's wide receiver last year that got drafted?
David Bell.
David Bell. Where did he get drafted to?
Cleveland. He's in Cleveland.
I haven't seen him. Well, that's where people go to die. So it's Ohio.
But
I mean.
Just letting it off today. Goodness gracious.
I'm just ready to go, man. Like I have been anticipating this day since Thursday, and then Saturday just amped it even more. I mean, I text you after that game, Eric. What'd I say? Get ready, right? I said get ready because I know you love to call him Coach Solomon, but that dude has got those players playing 28-3 in the second half.
That's unheard of. It's absolutely unheard of.
28-3 in the second half against a Heisman candidate quarterback. Come on.
I was talking to Ricky the other day about this game, and I don't think he's here right now, but I don't know if this is the hater or not, but as the Michigan, connoisseur of this, program, I'll let you speak on it. He says, why am I getting excited for regular season victories? Y'all beat them last season, and you underperformed in his eye in the playoffs. So would you say that this is a game that was just on the schedule that, is not as important as what they're just made? Because, again, they won this in the regular season last year. Should you now have bigger expectation for them that's past just beating Ohio State?
We hadn't won in Columbus in 22 years. You can't just
This is
look at this game as just another game.
I'm the bridge to this question.
And you
Go ahead.
prepare all offseason for this game. This is the game for a reason. It's not just another regular season game. And put it in a different perspective, right? There's 4 teams that make the college football playoff. The loser of this game was not making the playoff, barring some kind of miracle. So this regular season game meant a little bit more. Oh, and guess what? Playoffs are expanding, which means that the expectation or the consequence of losing this regular season game moving forward is not going to mean as much as it did on Saturday.
Okay.
So no, Ricky, I love Ricky. I love Ricky. And I wish he were here right now to yell at me in the comments. But this isn't just another regular season game. It's not. It's the last game on the schedule for a reason. Because all of your season is building to this crescendo moment.
Indeed.
That's it.
Indeed. I call it an extended playoff game for y'all. This is as good as JJ played as everything we see. It is set up for the biggest microscope to be on this game. No matter, it doesn't matter if it's fair or not. The biggest microscope is on this game. And not just for Ricky, for people in general, you have to be good in the regular season to get to the postseason. So I hate people who go, postseason's the only thing about it. You have to be good in the regular season to get to the postseason. So in my objective mind, this is a huge performance because, again, you didn't just beat them swiftly. You beat them soundly. You ran them out their building and you planted the flag as you deserved.
Was not a fluke. It was not a fluke at all.
Can't say that.
Here's my question, and here's my question to everybody in the comments, as well as to you two.
Okay.
Were you surprised by J.J. McCarthy on Saturday?
I'm going to go no.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm not a huge Michigan watcher.
Okay.
He's always had all the physical tools. He's fast as, crazy
lightning.
Arm strength. Yeah. What I saw was he did a really great job extending the plays. I was really impressed with that ability to, bounce out of the pocket, like on that first drive where he found Ronnie Bell on, I think it was 3rd down.
Yeah.
Where he bounced out. That stuff was impressive, but I think if Michigan really wants to take that next level, he's got to be able to, hit some tight window throws, make some explosive plays that way instead of
like 5 touchdowns over 45 yards?
Look, AJ, I know you played you could have hit that Cornelius. You could have hit both. Not the first touchdown was really impressive on that hook route. That's just crazy arm strength.
Yeah.
The other long bomb to Cornelius Johnson. Yeah, that one was
I got you.
So I think it was a great performance by him. Shouldn't be taken, anything away. But when you got to beat Georgia, you got to be something. You got to really elevate your team because as great as Michigan is, Georgia looks a little bit next level.
E, what about you? Surprised?
I'm gonna be honest, man. And maybe this is just the era we live in with football where the quarterbacks just get this unbelievable amount of credit. I wasn't that impressed with J.J. McCarthy. He wasn't bad. I'm not hating on anything he did. He, again, did enough to keep the ball rolling for Michigan. The plays he was making were broken defense plays. Now, again, it's important to make the right reads and get the ball to your playmakers. But if you lead out, again, even the Ronnie Bell, it wasn't a touchdown because Ronnie Bell.
Ricky's here. Ricky's here.
No,
you're 3 minutes too late, Ricky.
We got you, Ricky. He's running an out route, and then he kind of turns it up into a wheel. If JJ leads him appropriately, that's another touchdown for him. And a lot of plays and throws he was making were not that impressive to me. So while he played good, I'd give him like a B- for the game. But do I think he was the MVP for the game? No, I don't think so at all. I think this is a collaborative team effort. Think Edwards took their heart out of OSU. I don't think JJ was unbelievable. 12 or 24, like
a B minus.
I'll give him a B minus, and I think that's being
265 yards on 12 completions.
Yeah, it was a lot of big plays. It was a lot of broken plays that allowed receivers to catch and run long for the play.
Calvin Johnson 88 has a question for you. He's got a question for you.
What was the completion? The completion percentage was a little bit.
For sure,
he was at 50%.
Yeah,
but a B minus is a little rich. That's look. I'm glad I never had you in school, Eric.
Yeah, this is the real deal. This is high school.
Look, so I want to address this comment before I actually give my answer to the surprise, because I actually don't agree with Calvin Jr.
No, he wasn't.
And here's why I don't agree. You know who I think was the MVP of that game? Mike Sanderson.
Yeah, that's a
Mike
good pick.
Sanderson or Donovan Edwards, you could say too. Because I'll tell you what, Mike Sanderson and that breakup that he had in the end zone where he knocked the ball out of the dude's hand,
huge.
That changes the game. He also strung out a pitch play on third down, which was huge as well. Like Mike Sanderson, a converted wide receiver who's taking over for a first-round draft pick, stepped up and made huge plays. But to the question of did JJ surprise me? You got something?
No, I was just gonna say. No, sorry. I was just going to say, because the difference in the plays, too, because we just saw from Ohio State, they were making the same kind of plays, but getting flags. Sanderson, I thought every time, that's a flag. Oh, that's a flag. Then you watch the replay, clean. He was spectacular that game. Yes, I just wanted to add on to that. Yes.
So here's where I come down on the question of JJ McCarthy. And did he surprise me? My answer to the question is yes, he did surprise me. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
All season long, and Eric, we talked about this numerous times on this show. Everybody called for JJ's number this year, but yet his numbers were not different than Cade's. He was the same type of quarterback that Cade was up until this game. Yep. And I came into this game, and after even the first drive, and the question that I continuously was asking myself about JJ McCarthy is, if this game came down to JJ, do I trust him to carry the load?
Right.
Well, guess what? Blake Corum had, 2 carries and got a grand total of like 6 yards? This game came down to JJ. Because if JJ could not do what he did up until that fourth quarter, Donovan Edwards doesn't have those running lanes to make those 2 runs.
I agree.
So JJ, to me, took a step this week. A huge step, if you want me to be honest with you. In his play, because he challenged the ball downfield and he made passes downfield, which, guess what? I don't think people are questioning Michigan's passing game anymore. That was a big question mark coming into the game. People aren't questioning it anymore. Secondly, I will say this. Did you hear his response after the game?
What did he say?
So they're in the post-game interview, and they're like, how's it feel? And he goes, listen, it feels good, right? But at the end of the day, this one doesn't matter. He takes his hat off that says Big Ten East Champions. He goes, this doesn't matter either because there's still work to be done. And Donovan Edwards sitting next to him goes, you hear that Kobe Bryant in him? And I was like,
oh no. Okay. See this, and that's why I gave him the B minus. See what I'm talking about?
It's not JJ's fault. It's Donovan Edwards that said it. It's not JJ that said it. It's Donovan Edwards that said it. Come on now.
Likes Michigan fans.
It's that Mamba mentality, baby. That Mamba mentality.
We're giving Tim Tebow completion percentage, the Mamba mentality tag. Where are we going? Where are we going with this?
Literally,
what I'm saying is
exactly a 50% completion percentage.
I know, but that's my answer, though. My answer is he took the step. He answered the question for me. If it came down to JJ, do I trust him to win us a game? Yeah, actually, I do at this point. I do.
But just the fact that you're saying he won the game is nuts to me.
I didn't say that he won us the game.
You said, can you rely on him to win us a game? You just said that.
Yeah, can I? Like, if it came down to it and we had to put the ball in his hands and him go and sling it around and make decisions, I trust his decision-making after what I saw on Saturday. Up until Saturday, that was a big question mark for me.
Was he slinging it around for real? He was underthrowing his receivers. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm not saying dude was on bad, a deep ball.
Y'all are.
Are you talking about? Hold on a second. Are you talking about Cornelius Johnson's ball?
The Cornelius ball, he was wide open. That was a broken coverage play. He found him open. That was a good read. I'm okay with that.
It was a good read. And in that situation, as a quarterback, your number one goal, put it on the receiver. Do not try to lead them. Get them the ball.
Of course.
I think he's talking the Ronnie Bell on the first drive.
It was a couple of them plays. Yes.
I'm not asking him to be perfect. And that first drive, I was still asking that question.
Anybody giving a Mamba mentality quote, and I'm not saying you, but there's a lot of Michigan fans drinking Kool-Aid I seen on Twitter talking about he's him, he's arrived. He barely got I don't want to say barely. He got the job done. He did what you needed him to do. If we not gonna say Jared Goff, like the 17 of 26 performance he had like against the Packers, this was kind of reminiscent to me. He didn't light it up. He did just enough, and the players around him complimented his game. He didn't win the game. The team won. He did just enough.
Again.
It's not. I'm not aiming that smoke just for you. That's for everybody.
Not, but I want to be very clear so that you understand what I'm saying. Please. I'm not saying he won us the Ohio State game.
Please.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But coming into that game, I had serious reservations about him fundamentally being able to carry a team should it be needed.
Okay.
In the future. I worried about his ability to throw the ball. I worried about him escaping the pocket too soon. I worried about him doing all of those things that lead to bad decisions.
So, okay. So after this game, you now feel
much
better about it.
So
that's all I'm saying.
You think Georgia comes in there, stops the run game, or, another powerhouse like Purdue stops the run game. You're confident that JJ just dropping back can win you that game?
I think here's what I'll say. I don't feel confident that he can win us that game, but I feel confident that he can at least give us a chance. I'm not saying that he will go out and win, but I'm saying that I don't think it. Look, I'm going to be very, very clear with you right now. If Michigan plays Georgia, it will not be a repeat of last year.
I'm okay with that take. Win or loss, I'm okay with that. I agree.
It will not be a repeat of last year.
Only one way to go. You can only go up from last year.
You can only go up from last year. It was pretty brutal last year, actually. But at the end of the day, I think JJ can and will do enough to at least keep it, close. Yeah. Like if they shut down the running game, I would trust the ball in JJ's hands.
Yeah. Okay. I think the one thing that I think JJ just adds that extra dimension where Cade, I think, lacked a little bit.
For sure.
He's got that
you saw it in
the running game, that ability to get out of the pocket. He's got a rocket of an arm. He has all the physical tools. So there is some, accuracy, some stuff, but no, I think he gives you a chance with just those. He's physically, one of the best quarterbacks.
Ricky, we were friends. There's a reason Cade's not the quarterback this year. There's a reason. And look, I didn't understand that reason really until Saturday because we hadn't seen anything from JJ. But in the third quarter, when they put the ball in JJ's hands and he was running the ball, he was throwing the ball, right? Like you just said, Tejas, it's a different dynamic to the offense.
Yeah,
and that's important.
I don't think Cade could have made that throw on that 10-yard hitch that got taken to the house. There's not many quarterbacks with that arm strength, like falling back. I don't think he has that.
Yeah,
or
that literally
on the first drive.
That was a zero blitz. They were in man coverage, 2-man route, 9 guys. Maybe it was 8 guys. Blitz. That was an all-out blitz. That was a good play. Yeah, it went to the house. It should not have gone to the house. The dude should have made the tackle.
Yeah, okay, still a first down.
Let me be very clear about that.
He made the play they needed to make. That's fine.
But he made the play. It was still a first down. If he catches that and gets caught, it gets tackled, it's still a first down. Yeah. You convert it on third down. That's a good play.
Third downs can change a game. Keep the drive going. Even if he doesn't take it to the house, that gives you, it gives you a chance.
God, is Ricky a Michigan fan, a Michigan State fan?
No, he's a Bowling Green graduate, so he don't care about either.
Okay,
he's objective like I am.
I'm counting him as a Purdue fan. We got one in here.
Okay. So we have talked enough. Let's give some predictions for Saturday, okay? So Tejas, what do you got for Saturday? Big Ten Championship, Purdue and Michigan.
I'm gonna go 38-28 Michigan.
Okay, so 10-point victory. Eric, what do you got?
I'm gonna go. I'll go 38-14. I think Peyton Manning. JJ McCarthy is really gonna just light things up and
you're gonna compare him to one of the all-time greater quarterbacks.
Hey! We threw Mamba mentality out here. Anything's on the table now. Hey, let's open this thing up.
All right, here's the deal. I think Michigan wins. I think Michigan wins by more than they're favored by. I think they're at 16 right now. I think they win by 3 touchdowns. I don't know what that score is going to be, but I think they win by 3 touchdowns.
Can we get a Ricky's prediction on the bottom here?
He did. Yeah, Purdue 45, Michigan 11. Get out of here, Ricky.
Let's go.
Ricky, you act...
Ricky's my guy.
Yeah, we're going to have to get you and Tejas hooked up so you guys could hang out during the Purdue game and wallow in your loss that's about to come your way. But before Saturday, we had a football game. And before we get to that football game, I do want to remind everybody that we are on social media wherever you are at. So make sure you're following Detroit Sports Nation, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. And you can also follow Beyond the Box at Beyond the Box DSN on Twitter. Make sure that you are there. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Hit that bell so that you can get notifications when our show goes live and when our clips dropped. Thanksgiving. Did y'all have a good Thanksgiving?
Fantastic.
I did, man. I did. Go ahead, Tejas. How was yours, brother?
It was good. It was good. Just, deep fried a turkey, hung out with family, watched the Lions.
I don't trust myself enough to deep fry turkey.
Not there yet.
Look, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
I don't trust myself enough to cook a turkey. My mom cooks the turkey.
Me either. I'm still bringing wine and dessert at this point.
There you go.
Keep it safe.
Here's a question for you. Did y'all's power stay on for Thanksgiving?
I was in Seattle, so yes.
Yours is good.
Mine
good weather.
did not.
Why?
My parents were supposed to be coming to our house for Thanksgiving dinner. I'm holding Teddy, watching the Lions, trying to get him to go to sleep while Jess starts to cook the dishes that we were cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 minutes into holding him and her starting to prepare, power out.
Ooh.
Miserable. So we had to pack everything up, pack our kids up, go over to my mom and dad's and have Thanksgiving dinner there. Finish the Lions game there, which is what we are going to talk about now. The Lions. Eric, I was hot Thursday, and then I came to my senses. But I was hot. I was not happy Thursday.
Yeah.
With the way that game went down. A 3-point loss to the Buffalo Bills in a very winnable game.
Yep.
Tejas, you're going to stick around the whole show, man. I'm not even taking you out. You're hanging out with us tonight.
Roll with us.
I'm going to be honest. I felt pretty good after. At first, I'm obviously, ruined my Thanksgiving for an hour. But then I took that step. I felt pretty good about it, actually. I know we're all against this moral victories.
Don't even say it. Do not.
Not here. Not us.
Look,
not here for that.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But look, the Bills did not play bad. I don't think anyone can argue that. The Lions played up to that level. And look, it's the NFL. Those small differences, they make a difference. But the fact that we're in it's not like the Green Bay game where Aaron Rodgers played like Joey Harrington. Right? They were in this, they were playing some good defense. There's a couple plays, a couple coaching decisions. But I mean, the fact that, in year 2 of a complete rebuild, that we're in there, we're fighting. We're showing growth. Our young players are doing this, which I think is the most important thing for the season. Is our young. I don't care if we win. I'd rather lose with our young players leading us than win with our vets starring.
For sure,
I think that is much more sustainable.
So I want to know what Ricky means by get DJ Chark out of here, and I hope that it's not about that 3rd and 1 incompletion. I hope it's not about that because
if JJ McCarthy threw that, that's a touchdown.
Well,
JJ Brady would have put it on the money.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. If JJ did throw that, it probably would have been a touchdown because that was the worst toss I have ever. That was so bad. And everybody wants to rip on the play call. Do you have a problem with a 3rd down? Do you have a problem, Eric, with a 3rd and 1 play call like that?
Yeah, I do, but I'm more upset about Goff. It's like 75-25. I didn't like the play call because you don't lean on the guy who's been doing a Houdini disappearing act for the entire season. He'll hit a couple catches, then you don't see him for 3 quarters. Like
even
I don't
when
like
that guy has 2 steps on his defender.
Yeah, because based on what we've seen, he probably would have dropped it. So yeah, don't even look his way.
Got a problem with that call?
Yep.
I love the call.
Okay, good.
I think because look, you can say you can take the deep shot on first down if let's say they run it with Jamal, he gets it. They're going to be playing a cover 2. They're going to have guys over top. This is your chance. Go out there, be aggressive. It worked. He's open.
Yeah.
That's just the difference between Goff and a winning quarterback. And we saw that with the Josh Allen throw later.
And I think that is number one. That was one of the reasons why I was just like hot. I was like, why are you throwing the ball there? Like I didn't like it. And then I went back and like looked at it again. I'm like looking at the coverage. I'm looking at what it was. I'm looking at the game situation, right? The Lions statistically, for as great as their offensive line is, they're not very good on short yardage plays. They're not very good at short yardage plays at all. Mm-hmm. And so I go back and forth. I'm like so mad because you stopped the clock with 1:23 left, right? Okay. Right. But you run the ball and get stopped because you're not that great in short yardage situations. Guess what's going to happen? The Bills are going to call timeout, and it's the same result.
Yep.
So in my mind, taking that shot there when everybody's thinking that you're going to run the ball, I got no problem with it. The problem I have is your quarterback throwing the ball 5 yards wide of a guy that's got 2 steps on his defender. Mm-hmm. Like, we can talk about Jared Goff and him being acceptable. And I've already said, like, I'm resigned to the fact that he's coming back next year. I just am kind of accepting it at this point, right? It's like, isn't that the first part of getting over something is having to accept it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So, like, I was in denial for a while, and now I'm kind of getting to that acceptance point. This team, and I will continue to say this, and I will continue to believe it, this team, for all the building that they're doing with the young guys, even if through losing, right, Tejas, like you just said, this team will never take the next step if Jared Goff is their quarterback. Ever.
100%.
He overthrew Khalif Raymond. He overthrew DeAndre Swift. He overthrew Josh Reynolds, or maybe not. He missed Shark by 6 yards.
The safety,
and
just can't make that
not
play.
to mention, there was another play that I still have not been able to go back and watch, even though I want to. They had Swift coming out of the backfield towards the goal line and got broken up by a linebacker that he held on to the ball for like 2 seconds too long. This, for as much as people want to prop him up and look at his stats and say Jared Goff is he's acceptable, they can win with him. They cannot, because he does not make the plays when you need to make the plays for a winning team. He throws the ball close to his receivers. He does not throw his ball to his receivers, and that's not going to get the job done.
And he doesn't do a great job of accurately spreading it around. Him and Amon-Ra seem to have a great connect, but everybody else he doesn't seem to be wavelength with. But I want to come back to something that we talked about last week, and I disagreed with you on it, and I think it came to fruition this game. You said time of possession was the most overrated stat in football. Mm-hmm. Can you revisit that now after what just happened? Because we saw the Lions with a 3-point lead with 10 minutes on the clock. They were the first. They ran 6 plays. 2 completions. The first 2 plays were completion to Amon-Ra St. Brown. The clock stops as he gets out of bounds on both of them, but he gets a first down. The next 4 plays, they pass, and the clock freezes because they incomplete every single time, which leaves the Bills 9 minutes, which they iced 7 to go get another touchdown to get the lead. Do you now see why time of possession is a little more important based on what we talked about last week?
Again, I told you it was all based on situations. With 10 minutes left, you want to take the clock down. But if you are taking the clock down too much, you get into a conservative play call situation, and you're playing not to lose at that point rather than playing to win.
Well, the Lions needs to be doing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, That's what I'm saying. So like, I get where you're coming from, and I'm with you. Like, but I don't think that was the egregious time management situations in that game. If you want my opinion on what was the egregious time management situation in the game, was the first half. Before halftime, when you left 53 seconds on the clock for the Bills to go down and get a 3-point field goal. Okay. So like that mattered more so than I think that 10-minute possession did. And then at the end of the game, the problem that I had with the Lions' last drive specifically was you didn't know what was the identity of this drive. What are we doing on this drive? Are we taking it down to get a field goal and tie the game and go to overtime? Or are we going to play to win this game? It's one of those situations where I hear you, and I think that you're right. Like, the fact that the Bills were able to possess the ball for that long in the fourth quarter and then come up with a touchdown was important. And it was obviously significant in the game. But at the same time, take the Michigan game in the fourth quarter, right? They're up by 8. Donovan Edwards goes off right tackle. He could have gone down so they could possess the ball longer, or he could score, right? It's the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go and get the points when you can go and get the points.
But see, this is where I wanted to lead, because I think Tejas was kind of talking about it, because we were able to calm down. To me, they did this after a 3-game win streak, so I was able to calm down. Also, when they had the ball to close at like 23 seconds left, for one, I didn't even think they were going to run a play. I thought they was going to take the knee and go to OT. No. I didn't expect them, even with 3 timeouts, to try to drive the way. No, I didn't think they were. With that little time, I didn't think they would be able to drive, especially off one play, which was a chunk 40-yarder to Stephon over the middle. But Kirby Joseph did a good job of at least being in the vicinity. The only part where I disagree with you is I think if you at the very least ice off, let's say you ice off 4 or 5 minutes, and then they get the ball. You maybe score, maybe don't. You at the very least are putting yourself in a better position to defend a miracle like that from happening. You give Josh Allen and one of the best offenses 9 minutes against your dead tired defense. That's a lot of time. And I feel like that's how it
wasn't there a roughing the passer call on that drive too?
Yeah. That was the
yes,
third.
there was.
That extended their drive and got them down towards the end zone.
Yep.
So like
I got one thing on the time management real quick. Sorry. But didn't we just kick Patricia out because every time in the fourth quarter, if we had a lead, we would go run, pass. And that's how we blew 17 points to Chicago. I think with this Lions offense, we don't have the dogs to, we're just going to do whatever we want. You just got to call the best plays to try and score even at that point, because that's what killed us with Patricia. That's how we blew 17 points to the Bears in the fourth quarter. So you still got to be.
Isn't that running the football though? When Goff is winging it 40 times, that's when you're at your worst. When you're pounding with Jamal Williams, getting bounced with Justin Jackson, big plays from DeAndre Swift. That's their identity offensively. I think at this point, it's not being aggressive or over creative. It's doing what you need to do to survive. You don't need to be cute and try to dominate games. Just play to your strengths. And don't put yourself in positions to hurt yourself. They keep doing that repeatedly by not running the football and taking time off the clock to keep your opposing offense on the sideline.
No, I'm with you on that. Like I definitely think that there could have been, some fixes as far as the management aspect of things went. But at the end of the day, it's just execute. If you throw a good ball there, a field goal doesn't beat you.
Yeah. And I think, at
the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is just pure execution of simple things. That's not a tough pass to complete. It's really not. But he wasn't anywhere close to it.
He didn't give a chance.
And I want to answer this question by Ricky, because I think this is a legitimate question, right? Like, isn't Jared Goff young enough that he can grow into what you want, AJ, in your opinion? My thought on that is no.
Nah, he's like 28.
And my reasoning for that is everybody wants to say, oh, he's been to the Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl appearing quarterback. You know why he's a Super Bowl appearing quarterback? Because of the defense they had that year, and because of a guy named Todd Gurley. Go look up his playoff statistics that year. They're not good.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good because he's not good. I've said for this entire season, I will continue to say it as long as he's in a Lions uniform, and then I don't care when he's not. He is a bottom 8 quarterback in the NFL. There are 24 other quarterbacks slinging the pigskin that I would rather have on this team. He's not going to get better because this is what he is. And the Rams signed him to that contract and then tried to get out of that contract as quickly as they could. Now, it worked out for us. I'm not mad that we made that trade. In the slightest bit, I'm not mad that we made that trade. It's netted us great draft picks. It's netting us even better draft picks this season because of how bad the Rams are with them being plagued by the injury bug. But my problem will come is if they don't try to restructure his deal for next year, which I don't think they'll be able to do, or if they sign him to an extension. The moment that they sign him to an extension, I'm done with Brad Holmes, regardless of the good that he's done, because you took the most important position and you just held your team back.
I have no argument with that whatsoever, but that's why you don't let him roll for 3rd and 1 plays to throw deep to DJ Shark, who's been inconsistent. That's why you don't put the ball in the game in his hands to decide how they're going to win. Like, you just don't. You need to take it out of his hands.
So Ricky thinks,
Mason Peterman
how would we expect to, and this is one thing that I did want to talk about, and then we got to get to our week 13 picks and start bench cut. But how could we expect him to win against the Bills if he's a bottom 8 quarterback? Because teams win in spite of him. The Rams proved that. There's enough talent here that he can at least get the ball somewhere to win a game like this. They were not supposed to win this game. But the fact that Dan Campbell had them prepared enough to be in the position that they were in, I think speaks more to the coaching, even though he messed up with the game management. 100% there. But he had those suckers prepared. And they were ready to go. And they competed. And then, that's why we end up losing by 3. But yeah, Goff is not, he's not the answer. And if anybody wants to continue to argue this or think that he's some bargain at $30 million next year,
that ain't no bargain.
Pay me league minimum. I'll get you the production. Left-handed. Come on. I'm not even left-handed. I'll punt the ball and get better production. Because, goodness gracious. So many times, and we're going to move off of this because I can't keep harping on it. There are so many times I look at what is happening and I look at the way that he's reading a defense and I'm just like, God, he's not in it.
No.
He's not in it.
This is what you got. Again, he's gonna have to be back no matter what you draft, no matter what you bring next season. He's coming back.
He's for sure coming back. Next year, after that though, if he's still we're in a bad spot. Brad Holmes might be done.
Again, I'm resigned to the fact that he's coming back next year. I got no problem with him coming back next year. I have no problem because I got to watch him. But at the end of the day, if he's the quarterback beyond 2023, this team will never take the step that it's expected to take.
Mm-hmm.
He will hold them back. So we got week 13 picks, just so you know.
Yep.
You went 4-1 last week. I went 3-2 last week.
Oh,
so
really?
We are now tied on the season. We are tied.
Okay.
And so we got a lot of stuff going on in the comments here. Before we get to there, Dan Campbell or Sean McVay, DeAndre Swift or Todd Gurley. Maybe our team isn't putting him in the best position.
Dan Campbell's been a better coach than Sean McVay this year.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna
Sean
say
McVay
that.
Also has a Super Bowl underneath.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And DeAndre Swift's not even a running back 1 at this point. So
yeah, and look, you need a quarterback though who can make plays because outside on Thursday the Lions outplayed the Bills everywhere else besides the quarterback position. That's the difference.
That's a fact.
Amon-Ra St. Brown played.
Ricky
great.
must love Jared Goff. I mean, he's like Goff or Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield. I'm like, it doesn't have to be any of those guys.
I get the point he's making, though.
I do too. I do too. But like, I do too. Those are names that would probably be below Goff on my list of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So anyway, all right. So week 13 NFL picks, Eric. We are tied on the season. Okay. Now, are you good to go for start bench cut?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
All right. We'll get there. But
yeah.
Week 13, we got 5 games. I got to get the lead back because I picked New Orleans, you picked San Francisco. Ugly game, 13-0.
Terrible
game.
game.
And that was the swing. So here we go. Pittsburgh traveling to Atlanta. Who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh on the road. I like just enough of what their weapons are. I can't buy Atlanta. I don't care how Cordell Patterson can score 5 touchdowns in a game. I'm not buying that team. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
I'm going with Atlanta.
Of course you are.
Because Pittsburgh's playing tonight. They're gonna be on a short week.
Mm-hmm.
And their secondary hasn't been that great. Maybe a little Mariota to Drake London connection help my fantasy team out. I'm here. Eric, in our league. Oh, I'm playing Tejas. He knows this.
Oh, dude,
I started Justin Fields because I was at church when the news broke, and I didn't switch the lineup.
Okay.
And I'm still projected to beat Tejas this week.
Look.
Without a quarterback, without the second quarterback. I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about fantasy football managing.
Hey, I'm doing my best.
All right, so
having a good time. It's fine.
Yeah, hey, everybody gets a trophy. Tennessee at Philadelphia, Eric.
Ooh. Oh man. Jalen Hurts still playing MVP football. Philly is hot, and I don't think it's fluky at all. I love what they're doing on both sides of the football. Their young players are getting better. I'm gonna go Philly. I'm gonna go Philly in a 2-score game. I like Philly in this game by a lot.
So you know my rule for the year. I'm not picking against Philadelphia unless they tell me I need to pick against Philadelphia.
Right.
However,
right.
I'm concerned. Philadelphia's run defense not as good since Jordan Davis has been out.
Facts.
Derrick Henry still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little bit hesitant to take Philadelphia, but I got to stick with my rule because I said it and I'm going to stick to it. Game number 3, Miami at San Francisco.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Miami. I'm gonna take Miami in this game. I think they'll be able to withstand San Francisco's attack. I think they got a great defense, but I think Tua's figuring it out with the weapons around him. I think they'll be explosive enough to handle San Fran. And I think he'll be able to outplay Jimmy G. Give me Miami.
I'm gonna take San Francisco.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm going to roll with the home team on this one. No analysis here. It's just this is who I'm going with.
Okay.
All right. Kansas City traveling to Cincinnati.
Oh, easy. Give me Kansas City. I don't care. No, I'm not taking fluky Joe Burrow. Give me Kansas City. I don't care. There's no football analysis needed there. Give me the MVP in Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Kansas City. Best record in the AFC. Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce better than Gronkowski?
As a receiver. Not as overall tight end.
That would be an interesting debate. We'll get to that. We'll get to that at another time.
I don't have an answer for that one.
I don't either because
Gronk was different. Gronk was
him, and his block. He was a way better blocker too. Yeah.
Way better. But he can't. Yeah. All right. So final game: Jacksonville coming to Detroit.
Oh man, it's up in the air if they're going to get the Okwaras as well as J-Mo. I'm gonna still go with the Lions. I don't believe in Jacksonville at all. Even though I'm scared of Marvin Jones and Agnew having revenge games, I'm gonna still go with the Lions in this game at home.
Yeah, you didn't talk about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars this season, right?
Yeah,
you never know. They got that huge win in Baltimore this year.
Crazy.
So I'm gonna also go with Detroit. They have improved as we've talked about over the season. They've done a phenomenal, and I think that they build on what happened on Thursday. Okay. Plus, you got the longer break, right? So I think they're going to be rested up. They're going to be healthy. They're going to get Jonah Jackson back. So you got to also remember in that game against the Bills, we did what we did offensively without 2 of our top guards,
Evan Brown and Jonah Jackson.
The guards were rough.
So that was. Yep. So
They got lucky to have that Von Miller injury. That was
huge.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, like,
of course,
Ford Field takes another one, but like, we want Von to be healthy because he went to Buffalo to get them a ring, and so want him to be healthy. All right, so Eric, let's get to start, bench, and cut.
Okay.
And you know what I have not done yet today?
What's that?
Is put some music on for us.
That's right.
Because I totally forgot about it. So I'm just going to turn this down just a little bit because that was a little bit louder than
a little aggressive. It's okay.
I didn't think it was something like that. But let's put start, bench, cut. Okay. And on start, bench, cut, remember we put 3 players up, same position, and I give you their stats. You give me their stats, and we tell you who we would start, who we would bench, and who we would cut. I'm going to go first because mine's loaded up here. Okay.
Yep.
And then Tejas, you can get in on this action as well.
Do you want my fantasy football advice after you just beat me without quarterback?
No, but this doesn't have any fantasy implications. Okay. And honestly, I need 8 points from Michael Pittman tonight to beat you. I'm projected to beat you, but I need 8 points to beat you. You got 97 points. I've got 90 points. So, yeah.
You should just, whatever. Do the opposite of whatever I do. Everyone watching.
Okay, so start, bench, and cut. Okay, and here we go. Here are the player statistics. So these are quarterbacks. I went with quarterbacks again. Okay.
All right.
Now, player A has a 63. Oh, and I need to clarify too. This is their first full season in the NFL.
Cool. Okay. So they're active players. Okay. All right. Cool.
No. They're not active players. Not all of them are active players.
Okay.
These stats are from their first full season in the NFL.
Oh.
Okay. So it's only 1 year.
Okay. Cool.
So in this season, player A had a 63.8% completion percentage.
Oh man.
Had 3,725 yards, 27 touchdowns, and a 93.7 QBR. Player B had a 58.4% completion percentage, 2,210 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 96 QBR.
Okay.
Player C had a 60.8% completion percentage, 3,284 yards, 17 touchdowns, 16 interceptions.
Oh, man.
And a 76.9 QBR.
Oh, man. I know you're trying to be slick. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. I'm going to bite. Okay. I'm going to start player A.
This is Ricky. Ricky says start C.
Start C.
Bench B. Cut A.
Gosh. I'm going to...
Austin says start B. Bench A. Cut C.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, let me backtrack. I'm going to start B. I'm going to bench A.
And you're going to cut C?
I think I'm going to cut C. And I'm very nervous to see who C going to be.
I know I'm going down the line. I'm going starting A, benching B, cutting C.
Okay.
All right, y'all ready for the review?
No.
Okay.
It's going to be bad.
So, Eric.
Oh.
I knew it. I knew you was trying to be slick. Oh my God. I knew that was going to be him. I knew it was going to be A, bro.
You benched Baker Mayfield.
Oh, okay.
And Tejas, you started Baker Mayfield.
Oh, he's got that moxie, man.
Now, Eric, I think you'll be okay with this one because player B, you chose to start Dan Marino.
Okay. All right, bet. Shout out to
Dan. Tejas, you chose to bench Dan Marino.
Baker Mayfield's way cooler than Dan Marino.
Okay, but
not a better quarterback.
Both of you decided to cut Drew Brees.
Wow.
Shout out my guy.
Yeah, I want to give you that Purdue
connection. I cut my Purdue legend.
He trolled you, bro. He set you up for an L.
How do you like that?
Better than Brady.
Just like Michigan's going to set Purdue up for. So just to recap, Eric, You have Baker Mayfield on your bench while you start Dan Marino and cut Drew Brees.
Set the whole bench on fire. Get Baker out of here. give me JJ McBrady as well. I'll start him over Baker Mayfield.
Now let's go back to Ricky here, because Ricky would have cut Baker Mayfield.
Okay, good
started
job,
Drew Brees and benched Dan Marino.
Good job, Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
Well
good
done,
job. He said championship for me for sure. All right, E, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, so yeah, I got my setup. I'm gonna just show the stats and I'll be able to unload here. Yeah. Okay, so these are wide receivers.
Okay.
And these are their current stats for this season. Player A, 64 catches, 857 yards.
Okay.
5 touchdowns. Player B, 65 catches, 716 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Okay.
Write these down. Remember them, people. Player C, 57 catches, 792 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
You couldn't give me the targets with them? I'm just messing. All right, so
I can maybe guess what their target rate is.
I'm gonna ask you some questions, okay? And you can read them back to me. Okay, so 64 for player A, 64 catches, 857, and 5 tutties.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to player B.
Player B,
65, 716, and 4. And player C.
And player C, 57 catches, just under 800 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
Oh, okay. So, I know you're probably setting me up too, because I have a feeling like player B is probably pretty solid, like you did the other time when you had me cut Christian McCaffrey. Based on production, I'm starting C.
Okay.
I'm benching A and cutting B.
Benching A and cutting B?
Yep.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
Because both of them have a higher yards per catch. But I'm starting C. I'm benching A and cutting B.
Okay.
Tejas?
All right. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start C. I'm gonna bench B, cut A.
All right, so you're going with what Austin said here. Austin said that. Ricky said to start B, bench B. A, and cut C. So
he's gonna be the best player. I'm calling it now.
I have a feeling that B's probably like the best name. I know he is. I know.
Okay, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna just say the names.
All right.
Player A is CD Lamb.
Okay.
For the Dallas Cowboys. Player B, who you choose to cut,
yep,
was Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm okay with that.
I like throwing the Lions in. I like throwing a little local in there. And player C was Amari Cooper for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, look at that.
I'm stunned to realize he's played as good as he has.
So
look, Brissett's pretty good. Brissett and Cooper.
I take Brissett over Goff for sure.
Yeah,
but
look, Cooper's a good player. I don't know why Dallas gave him up for nothing.
And now they need a receiver too. You might sign OBJ when you could have just kept Amari Cooper the whole time.
Look, I'm okay with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb on the bench.
Look, I think I got it right. I think I got it right. I think I'm okay with that. Amon-Ra's better than CD.
I agree.
I'm a homer, but
I agree with you.
Ricky is so mad at me because
I
don't like golf.
Yep.
Because listen, look, I love Amon-Ra. I traded him in fantasy to get Miles Sanders, but it's still, it worked out. And I love Amon-Ra, and I do have loyalty. I just want players that play for my team to actually contribute to winning, unlike our quarterback does.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Amon-Ra.
No, Amon-Ra is one of the top 15 receivers in the NFL. I got no problem saying that. Eric, stop sharing your screen. If you can figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I think I got it.
All right. Oh, and we're on that
that's
graphic.
not it. No.
There we go. All right, so that was interesting, and that was good.
I like that. I love that game.
I love that Baker Mayfield ended up on your team.
I knew it. I swear it was something like he's gonna find a way to put him
thinking
in this
about
damn game.
I've been thinking about doing like that just to like get you to say that like, oh, he's not as bad as we think he is.
Well, if it's a mystery, no, I just gotta wing off of numbers.
Of course, that's the whole fun of Start Bench Cut, man. It's the whole fun. So here's the deal, Tejas. Thank you for being around. I wish you absolutely zero luck on Saturday. But I do appreciate you being here and hanging out for an hour with us. We will be back next Monday. We will be back next Monday at 7 o'clock for more Beyond the Box. We hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. And as always, go Lions and go Blue. For Eric Vincent and Tejas Bedi, I am
Boiler
Reilly.
Up.
There you go.
We will see you guys next week.